Today we're going to work on a U-Matic VO9850 U-Matic recorder. This thing is from many years ago, ancient gear, as you can see with everything else here. The problem is it has an error 2 code, and the error 2 code has to do with the loading of the tape into this machine. What we're seeing here, and the main culprit that I've been able to figure out, is it has to do with this sensor. If you put a tape in and hit rewind or fast forward or eject, it works fine. But the second you hit play, it goes up, loads into the mechanism, and this is the sensor that is incorrect. And the second that it goes up to that point, it doesn't sense that the tape has been fully drawn into the mechanism. A way of fixing that quickly and getting it to run is to rotate this a little bit, and it brings the tape in a little bit further, and the machine runs great. So all you have to do then is there's one little screw right there, and this whole mechanism has to be simply moved back and forth a little bit, and that's what we're going to do today, is get that organized. So I'm going to go find a U-Matic tape out in a shipping container and get this old monster that's in great condition running again. Screws are removed. You can simply remove the whole top of the machine and set it aside. Then everything is under this board. So all you do is, this is a little latch mechanism, right? There it is. The whole thing should come up. And this is what it looks like inside. The main culprit is this little piece right here. This piece gets misaligned, and you have to readjust that. Basically what you're doing is you're taking it and you're pushing it that way, in that direction a little bit. If the tape is stuck in there, which invariably it happens, before you can start realigning this machine, what you have to do is get the tape out. And so what you have to do is you have to reach your finger in. There's a little wheel right there, and you have to rotate that wheel one way or the other so that this mechanism itself starts to unload a little bit. If you can simply get it to unload about a centimeter or so, then the whole tape will unload. In order to reset it, you have to turn the power off and turn it back on again. That's the key. And then once you do that, then you can pull the tape out, and then you can readjust that one piece, and then you got it. So I've been able to find the tape. Now it's all plugged in, and we're gonna go ahead and see if this thing even fires up. It hasn't been fired up in a long time. There we are. Here's a tape from, looks like 1994, an old demo I had. So there we are, okay, and it should, okay, so we have, so as you can see, it's rewinding or fast forwarding, but when you hit play, it's working. I can't believe it. Great. But this is the culprit. It's this one little spot that I have to adjust it a little bit more but it's running. I had worked on it before. I didn't know exactly where it was, but this is the problem. So put it on stop. Ah, there is the error code. So then what we do, which is really something, put your finger in, and there's one little knob down here, one little pulley thing. And by the way, I've replaced all the belts in this machine last year before I did anything else. Then shut it off. Turn it on. Just means I now have to go back and work on that a little bit more. Must have turned it the wrong way. What this does is this slowly moves the heads in back and forth. Turn it off again. And aha, okay, well, we'll get this organized. Okay, here we are again. Now, what we've done is the Air 2 code was present, and so I took my finger, put it down onto this small wheel, and rotated it out so that the tape started to unwind about a centimeter or so. And then there was a click down on the bottom area, right down here. And then when I plugged the machine back in and turned it back on, then it rewound the tape. So now what we have here is the area codes are turned off, and it should fast forward and then rewind. And what the machine does is that when it rewinds, it goes into rewind, goes all the way to the end, stops, and then moves forward just a little bit. So now what I have done is I have adjusted this mechanism right down here, and I slid this inward a little bit this way to see if that changes it. And it's just a matter of fiddling with that limiting mechanism that has to do with how far the tape comes in and then ends up with this error code. So let's see what happens now when I hit play. Okay, so it seems to be playing. I don't even have this connected up to a monitor yet. I'll get that in a few seconds. But that seems to be playing. Now here's the thing. I put it on stop. Where's stop? Right here. And see if it comes out. See if it ejects. And here's the tape. So let's go through the whole mechanism again. Tape in. It's pulling it out. I'll hit play. And it's running. Okay, next. And we'll stop it. And so, eject. So the big culprit with this whole picture is that it's this one little mechanism. This screw needs to be pushed in. And this whole unit is the tape sensor, and it has to do with the limiting of the rotation of the mechanism and the bringing the tape into the unit. If it doesn't come in far enough, then it doesn't kick in play, or you get the Air2 code. So, and it has to do, I think, with this particular thing with years gets pulled backwards. So all I did is I took this area, I'll make a close-up right there, and I simply brought it up. Look at how close it is. And I marked at the very beginning, whenever I start making connections, I will try to mark. This was lined up with this leading edge, so you can see all I went in is probably about 1 millimeter or so on that. And we're doing it. So give me a second and we'll show you what this thing looks like playing. As you can see here, I've got a whole bunch of other old machines, and we're running it in, and I've got all the latest Mac and the DaVinci Pro gear for editing, and the new Blackmagic gear in the background. Okay, so now we have a monitor. We have a monitor connected up to it now, and it's over in this little rack. And so what we'll do is I have headphone jack plugged into it, so we can hear both the audio and the video. And we should get video. There we are. This is, so you can hear both the audio and the video. So this is something that looks like 1994 Hardcore Productions. This is an old machine, which is wonderful. So now we can get this thing online and get it back into the rack, and it should work forever. This is one of the machines I bought off of eBay, and it was absolutely pristine clean, but it had a little problem, and this was the problem. And I worked on it a little, replaced all the belts, and there are other videos showing that, and then did this. Did a little bit of some investigation. So this is my little editing suite here. So you have yourself a wonderful day, and it's a great machine.